Hello everyone and welcome back to CJ Explores. In this video we're going to give you a full tour of our two-wheel drive camper car. We get a lot of questions from people asking how we do it and why we're doing it in a two-wheel drive. So we're going to show you every little piece that makes our trip possible inside this little two-wheel drive. Let's go.
Welcome to the cockpit. So in here it's pretty small, so we tried to make the most of this small space, and the best thing that we have in here is two things. It's our space savers. So in here we have the normal two spaces that we usually have with the car for the bottles, but to make us have a little bit more space, Corey found these off Amazon, I think they were, and it just means we have some extra space. So I can put my bottle here, we can have an extra bottle here. In here we just have all bits and bobs, handy things like lip balm. This is a little coin area, which is really handy if you want to do some laundry or, you know, just some small little things you want to buy. Just some pens and stuff that's just easy access on the road. Just those little things, you don't really know where to put them. They go here. Sometimes it overflows, but I gave it a nice little clean out earlier. And then the other best thing that we have in here, this is really handy, is these little magnetic strips that we have for our phone. The first magnetic strip we have is here on the entertainment system, and usually whoever's driving has their phone here. It's really good, so if we get a phone call or if we want to change music, it's just here, and it's pretty safe and easy to charge. And we have another one. I thought this was going to be like my little movie system, but it didn't really. I think I've watched like a couple of episodes on Netflix this way, but obviously the internet is awful. But I have this little adjustable one here. It's come off a few times, but it is really handy. Sometimes you just don't know where to put your phone and you have it in your lap, but so I have this bigger strip. It goes there, and I can sometimes just watch through some movies, etc. They're really handy. They're one of my favorite things we have for this trip. I definitely recommend getting some of those. Another thing we have in the front, many people have diffusers, nice smellies in the car. And we have this one here. It's stuck down with some double-sided tape, but you just put natural essential oils in there. So it means that we can fill our car with beautiful smells like eucalyptus or lemongrass. I really don't like those strong, like, chemical smells that you can find sometimes in the cars or the cleaning items. This is a Banksia seed, and we bought this back in Brisbane. It cost about 30 bucks, but it looks really nice. It's nice and natural. I approve.
One of the most important things to install in your car is a water system, and we have gone for a 22-litre water can, which we use a shower pump, and we've made an adapted head for that. Okay, so here is where we store our water, and we keep this topped up when we're going on big road trips. So to set it up, we just have this little shower pump, which we store in this bag. Goes straight in there. Okay, so this is our shower head, and we've got a couple of adapters here from Bunnings to make this fit, but this is a garden hose head. It is a squeeze trigger, and we've got adjustable here, so you can have jet for filling up water bottles, shower if we're having a little rinse or doing the dishes, and then mist if it's a very hot day. Woohoo! And yeah, that's how we have a shower when we don't have showers available. This system runs off a 12-volt DC plug, so we just have that plugged into our power bank, which is on the other side, and we can go and have a look at that now. Okay, so this is where we store our power station, and it is a 1260 watt-hour lithium power bank. We charge it when we're driving. We can also charge it off solar panels, and that is what we use to run our shower and our fridge and charge our laptops and camera batteries.
So this car is a 5-seater car, but right now it's only 2-seater because we have folded all the back seats down. We actually have found that we've got a little bit of space in between the seats where we put our rain jackets, so that's kind of handy because we don't use those much, so they're just shoved in there. And Corey has custom made this big kind of clothing storage space. We did have a different design. We were supposed to have half of a storage on top, but there's been delays with the tent we ordered. Whole nother story, but we came up with this idea. So we have a little hook here for my hairdryer. My straighteners are shoved in there. Hardly use them, but they're there for when we get to the colder places. And then for clothing, I have used these travel organizers. They're so handy. So I've separated all the different types of clothes I had. So I've got all my dresses, my shorts and my t-shirts are all separate. So it makes it a lot easier for me to find the clothes that I want to wear in the morning. Because we do have such limited space here, it's still pretty tricky, but there is method to this madness. And we're 3 months in, we're slowly getting used to it still. And we've also got a little trick as well with this laundry area. We actually have a dirty laundry compartment in the middle, so we can access it by sliding this across. It gets full very quick, it's only small, but it's nice just to have a few things in there. And then sometimes if Corey needs to access it, or if I do, we can just slide this across. Ta-da! And we've also put a storage compartment behind the passenger seat, usually my seat. In here we've just got our essential oils, some vitamins, some card games, just bits and bobs that we probably forget is even in there because we have to bring my seat forward to get it. But these are really handy, so if you do have more space in your setup, definitely get a few of these for the back of the driver's or the passenger seat, because there's so many little pockets that you can fill up.
So on top of the clothing bin is where we store our laptops and other bits and pieces and gadgets. We have set this up as a sliding box, so you can move it around, which means you're able to access everything inside the bin from both sides. The other feature that we have installed is this little knot here, which allows you to get access to your laptops, but also if you need to do an emergency brake and that's locked off, then they're not going to come flying out into the front of the car. So a little bit of safety there too. Another one of these very nifty Amazon purchases which we got for car storage is a roof net, and this goes between the grab handles in the front and the back, so you've got 4 anchor points. And it is great for storing things like hats and bags, cables, anything that's compact and just can sort of be stuffed up there. That's where that all lives. And we have made it a little bit tighter by just putting some bungee rope up there and making a bit of a spider web to keep it all nice and tight. But yeah, that's super handy and we use that every day.
So also on our storage area, we've also attached our Wi-Fi dongle with some sticky tape that we've used that a few times, it's just Velcro. We did have our first aid kits attached, but they all fell off, so only lightweight things we found works. We also have this drawer here that Corey made. It comes out all the way. It's very long, it's the entire length of the storage area. And in here we just put lots of things like mainly wires, because we have lots of technical things here, laptops and cameras. And we've also got hard drives. I've got my Polaroid camera in there, which I use every time I go on a border crossing. I like to get my Polaroid shots. And yeah, it's quite handy because you kind of just forget it's there, but we do store a lot of bits and bobs in there where you just don't really have space. It's always that place in the house where it's just like this box of wires and stuff. And this is ours in the car.
Welcome to our kitchen. This is our boot area where we store all of our food. We have our fridge, a cabinet, everything we need in here for cooking. And we've put it on a platform which slides in and out. It's very unusual. We get a lot of comments about it when we're on the road, so let's show you how it works. Okay, so first thing are these little wooden dowels, and they just basically hold this steady into the frame, stops it from moving around when we're driving. And then we have these legs, which have little rubber feet on them. They're beautiful Tasmanian oak. And then they go underneath when we pull it out. So this is our fridge. We have gone with a Rubber Monkey 22 litre. It comes with a little ice tray and it is pretty efficient on energy. We have got it also with the thermal bag, which helps to keep it cool, especially in those hot Northern Territory days. We don't have any food in here at the moment because we are in a campsite, so we're using campsite fridges and saving our power. So this is our kitchen pantry. It is custom made. I sort of designed this from the ground up. Wanted to have it so that we could make the most of the space in here, and that's why we have this angled top. But everything is on hinges, and then we have a little platform up here which you can use for cooking. We have lights in there too, which is pretty cool. So lights on each shelf. And in the back of our pantry, this is one that you need to pull the kitchen out to use. So we store things in here that we only really use when we're stopped and cooking. This is where our gas cooker goes. We have some cooking spices and things in there. But everything we need is in there on these shelves. And the cool thing about these shelves is they are removable. So if we have some different styles of food we want to keep in there, we can change it at a later date. And we've got 3 different places for our cooking utensils. We have a hook on the side because it's quite a narrow space down there to store our chopping board and colander. Up here we have our knives and forks, cutlery, everything in this little box. And then on the side we have a magnetic strip, and that is super handy for storing metal objects like knives, scissors, quick access so we can grab it even when the fridge and everything is pulled in. Okay, so in the back here we have a frame which I've built around our spare wheel. Now this is a custom build and we've attached it to the frame of the car just to make it so that we can have a spare wheel that's a full size. There was a space saver wheel in there before, but we changed it to a full size. As you can see though, in the Gibb River Road, we have actually picked up the wrong full size spare. You can watch the video up here. Here is also where we store our solar panels, so when we're parked up in a place and we want to charge our battery, the solar panel goes there. And then in here, every little nook and cranny is filled with tools, pegs, lights, boots. Basically, this is all the stuff that we use when we're parked at a place, we're at a campsite, or we want to wash the car, or things that don't really get used that often. So we just store it all under here, and then it is out of the way. So the whole kitchen base, it slides in and out, and the way that we've done that is we have got inverted roller wheels. These are little rubber casters that we got from Bunnings, and we have 6 of them, and they can take 20 kilos each, so overall that's 120 kilos they can carry. And that makes it possible to slide this whole platform in and out with no worries. We've built this platform in a T shape so that if you look down this way, you can see that the T actually catches on the shape of the car, so there's no way that you can pull it out any further. It stops there, and that's something that we planned ahead when we were building it. We also have some rails in there which help guide the kitchen in and out. It just keeps it nice and straight. But overall, it's been a pretty good little kitchen to us. I mean, we've done as much as we could do with the space that we had. And yeah, everything fits in here, everything that we need. Okay, people's main concern with camping is where am I going to sleep? And people have a lot of questions for us when we drive around in this little hatchback. Where do we sleep? It's here in a rooftop tent. It's a super lightweight one. It's only 25 kilos. But once it's inflated, it is like the Shangri-La up there. Let's have a look. So you might have seen on top of our battery pack was something that looked like an air pump, and you are correct, it is an air pump. Now we have to connect this one up to our battery, which we do via this cable here. Okay, so our pump is in here. What I normally do is wind down the window, and then I can access the pump straight through here, so that when we get the tent down, this is where it gets inflated. So all we need to do now is turn the pump on and let it inflate. So I'm not sure if you can hear, but that pump is actually quite loud, and that's half the reason why we leave it in the car. We used to take it out of the car, but it was so loud that we felt like we were disturbing the peace at campsites. But once it is set up, that is an air mattress, and it's very firm. It's kind of the same sort of firmness as a stand-up paddleboard, if you can imagine what that feels like to sleep on. So what we've done is we've put a mattress topper in there with a sheet, just to give it a little bit more cushioning when we're sleeping at night. Okay, so once the base is inflated, we have to change the nozzles to this connection which goes to the rest of the tent. We changed the PSI down to 2 PSI, and this one looks a lot more impressive when it blows up. As you can see, it's going quite big up there. Once those poles reach 2 PSI, they're going to be quite firm. And that is basically the shape of our tent. And this is the last inflation point, just the little nose cone. And this just makes it nice and sheltered for us when we come in and out of the tent down the ladder. Okay, so now that everything's inflated, we can put the ladder up, which is pretty easy to do. It's one of these, you see them with most rooftop tents, they just extend up. You get to the right height, and then there is a little Velcro, and this actually acts as a support for the tent. So when we're sleeping up there, there is extra support, not just from our roof racks, but from this ladder too.
All right guys, now that the tent is all set up, I'm gonna show you inside because most people are really surprised by how big this thing is once you're in there. Come check out our crib. It is so spacey. I think the best thing which makes us feel like we have a lot of space is because it's so high, so we don't feel claustrophobic in here. Plenty of room for 2 people. This is a 2-person tent. There's a nice breeze coming through. These, I think we should be a little bit larger, and we actually have ordered the smaller tent, which is a slightly smaller width, but the whole side is just mesh. It was supposed to come 4 months ago, so we're still waiting. We'll probably finish the trip, honestly, by the time we get it, but we'll figure that out. But as you can see, like, this is the kind of stuff this company does. They're an Austrian company, really popular in Europe. Yeah, but they're so great for little 2-wheel drives. Don't think just because you have a small car that you can't have a rooftop tent, because we found that it is possible. This one is super light, really handy. The only thing that we found on this trip is you have to park your car in the right direction of the wind, because if not, it can collapse in a little bit. You know how tents are in the wind. But otherwise, we're super happy with it. It's a bit hard because this is just like a standard paddleboard material. So we've just got this foam material that we got from, like, I guess, a Kmart or somewhere. And we just put that on top, and then we have 2 sleeping bags. At the moment we're joining them up because it's nice. It's a bit cooler now in the evening, so we can have it like a blankie. And we have storage space in here, put a little dressing gown on us, like sleeping, earplugs, etc. Otherwise, ta-da! That was our camper car tour. We really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please just ask us. There's a lot that we're still learning on the road and a lot more to share. So drop your comments below and we'll see you guys next time.